let's talk about blockchain. I'm sure you've heard this word buzzing around everywhere, right? It's tied to everything from Bitcoin to the future of the internet. But what does it actually mean? Today, we're going to pull back that curtain. We're going to demystify this whole thing, and we'll start with just one really simple idea. So to get our heads around this, let me ask you something. Imagine you had a record book, a special kind of notebook, and anything you wrote in it was permanent. I mean, you knew with absolute certainty that no one, not a single person, could ever go back and erase it or change it or sneak in a fake entry. What if that existed? Well, guess what? That's it. That's the basic idea behind blockchain. When you strip away all the jargon, at its heart, it's just a new, really clever kind of shared digital record book. If you can hang on to that one idea, the unchangeable record book, you've got the key to understanding everything else we're about to cover. Okay, so we have that core concept locked in. Now, let's get a little more formal. We'll look at the official kind of technical definition, and then I promise, we'll break down what all those fancy words actually mean in plain English. All right, deep breath. Here's the textbook definition. A decentralized and distributed digital ledger. I know, that sounds super complicated, right? But words like decentralized and distributed, they're really just fancy ways of describing the rules of our special record book. So let's just cut through all that noise. Here's a much, much better way to think about it. Blockchain is a shared record book. Everyone involved gets their own copy. And once something is written down, the ink is permanent. It cannot be changed. See, that simple idea is going to be our guide through all of this. So what exactly makes this digital record book so special? Well, it all comes down to a few core principles. Think of these as the rules of the book, the things that make it so incredibly secure and trustworthy. First up, decentralization. You know, normally one person or one company owns the ledger. Think about a bank. They control your transaction history. With blockchain, there's no central boss, no single owner. Instead, every single person in the network has their own complete copy of the book. And that leads right into the next point, transparency. Because everyone has a copy, anyone in the network can look at it and check the entries. There are no secret pages, no hidden edits. It's all right there, out in the open for all the participants to see and verify. And here's the real superpower, immutability. This means that once an entry is made in this record book, it's set in stone. It cannot be changed. Not by you, not by me, not by anyone. It is locked in forever. And that permanence, well, that's what creates such a massive level of trust in the system. But how is that even possible? Well, it's all thanks to some really powerful security called cryptography. Every single entry is sealed with a unique, unbreakable mathematical code. If you tried to change even one tiny part of an old entry, it would break that cryptographic link, creating this massive ripple effect that everyone on the network would see instantly. It's like having an unpickable digital lock on every single page. And finally, it's all based on consensus. To add a new line to the record book, a majority of the people holding the book have to agree that the new entry is legit. It's kind of like a democratic system for data. It stops any one person from adding fake information. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about this book. Now let's zoom in and look at a single page. In the world of blockchain, each page is called a block. And understanding what's on that page, that's key. So, each block or page has a few key ingredients. You've got the actual data, you know what's being recorded, but here's the most important part, down at the bottom. Every block has its own unique digital seal, called a hash. And it also has the hash of the block that came right before it. This is what literally links them all together, creating the chain. If you tried to mess with an old block, its hash would change, breaking the chain for everyone to see. It's brilliant. Okay, so now we get the rules of the book and we get the anatomy of a page. But how does a new entry actually get written into the book in the first place? Let's walk through that process step by step. The whole thing is kind of like a public announcement. First, someone requests a transaction. That request then gets broadcast out to everyone holding a copy of the book. The computers on the network, they're called nodes, all get to work validating it. And once enough of them agree, once they reach a consensus, that transaction is bundled into a brand new block. That new block gets its own cryptographic seal, and it's added to the end of the chain. It becomes a new, permanent entry for everyone to see. So let's bring it all back home. When you put it all together, the decentralization, the transparency, the security, the consensus, what you get is a totally new way to keep records. It's a system that's secure, it's shared, and it's permanent. built from a chain of these digitally linked blocks of data. And that really leaves us with one final big thought. This technology gives us a way to create a trusted, unchangeable record of literally anything valuable. We're talking money, property deeds, votes, maybe even our own identity. The potential here is just enormous. So the real question isn't just what is blockchain anymore, it's what are we going to choose to write in this new kind of book?